Unfortunately, Dr. John Hayward was not able to participate in FECRA's Virtual Hustings for reasons beyond his control. FECRA are delighted to give him the opportunity to address the 4 questions we put to the other candidates. Who will deliver? See for yourselves. How do you see the process of developing an integrated long-term local plan 2019-2036 working? Who, when and how? And what part would you want to see residents play?
Okay, so Conservatives across the region were able to help deliver the City deal in recent years, and it is a local decision. So I'm really proud that it was Conservative governments that delivered the Conservative mayor for Cambridgeshire and Peterborough, and he is now able to take some of those big infrastructure questions which previously happened in Whitehall by people who didn't necessarily know what the challenges were of Cambridge. He's able to take them more locally and will be able to consult with local MPs, local councillors at county and at city level, and crucially we'll be able to consult with local residents as well.
This is a several-pronged question, and I would like you to answer all aspects. Cambridge University, its colleges and the councils are promoting growth. Is this sustainable? What do you consider to be the cumulative impact of this development on the character and environmental capacity of Cambridge? And what will you do as MP to bring these groups together with residents?
Okay, as you say, that's a multi-pronged question. You've got infrastructure, you've got environment, indeed you've got the relationship between different organisations in society. Growth is sustainable, and yet we have all seen the pressures that growth has placed on this city over the 3 decades that I've been living here. I've seen each year transport becomes more difficult, the roads become more gridlocked, and so it is crucial that we get some of these big infrastructure questions, housing and roads and rail in particular, public transport sorted out, and that is where the newly elected mayor will be a real asset, help come in alongside the MPs and along the county council and alongside the city council and alongside residents, as together we collectively think through the questions of how can we wrestle with these problems. I'm really excited about the mayor's proposals for an underground system. I think that will do a lot in terms of both enabling commuters to get down to London more easily and therefore take some of the burden off the roads. It will enable people to buy housing outside of Cambridge where it's cheaper and therefore ease the pressures on obviously the limits on being able to build new housing, let alone buy new housing in Cambridge City itself. It will enable people to be able to commute into Cambridge from the villages more easily, and therefore it will help the whole high-tech industry, the many businesses that have set up. Just under the Conservatives the last few years, there have been 775 new small businesses set up here in Cambridge, and that's really exciting in terms of jobs, in terms of impact it has on society, and the new developments that will come in partnership between those businesses and universities in years to come. Just recently we saw the huge investment from Japan into the 2 Cambridge graduates, the Improbable, which is a great partnership of coming out of the university, working with local businesses and contributing to the economy of the country, not just the city and the region.
The Cambridge Greenbelt is under threat from developers wishing to build more urban areas around the city fringe in Greenbelt land. What is your position on the Greenbelt?
Fundamentally, I agree with the Conservative position of protecting the Greenbelt, and yet I do also hear those voices that say perhaps there does need to be some re-evaluation, some attempt to allow a revision of some of the borders. I think if that did take place, there would need to be alternative land set aside in order to compensate for any loss in greenbelt, but actually the greenbelt around our city is crucial to the character of the city. You come in from the A603, you come in off the M11, you're straight into the Fens in the heart of Cambridge. And it's only the only reason you actually know yourself you're in a city is because the roads are chock full of traffic. Environmentally, we have this real asset of the countryside coming into the city. I think we want to preserve that element. There's obviously all the green sites. I think there is more that we can do in terms of freeing up some of the brownfield sites and using those for development. And obviously we have got the new developments going on with North Stowe and North West Cambridge. And so I would like to see as much of the greenbelt protected as possible. Conservatives are committed to doing so. And as I say, any review or re-evaluation of where those borders fall would need to have a very clear position in protecting alternative land, if any at all is given up.
FECRA recently ran an event called A Happy City, a Landscape for a 21st Century. Key issues for residents are transport, strong communities, and health. What specific things would you do as an MP to make sure that Cambridge is a happy city for the people who live and work here?
I've campaigned for several years, particularly through some of my past jobs, on the whole issue of well-being. Life is about more than just GDP and the economic bottom line. Yes, we make a huge economic contribution to the nation's economy here in Cambridge, but there is more to life than money. And as I say, well-being is crucial. And I'm really pleased that it's the Conservative government, the last 7 years, which has begun to take this issue seriously, has begun to take mental health issue seriously. We're putting in about £11.5 billion a year into addressing mental health. We've pledged in the manifesto to put a qualified mental health first aider into every school, in the same way that every school already has a qualified physical health first aider, in order that the mental health and the well-being of our young people can be looked after. And that will go on for adults as well. So we've committed to having 10,000 more mental health professionals in the NHS, and I want to be a part of that. I am excited. I recognise that a lot of people say they're not interested in politics. Actually, people are interested in schools. They're interested in infrastructure. They're interested in housing, transport. They're interested in what's the cost of living is. They are interested in the relationships within society that make up day-to-day life and that make life worth living. And that is what politics is about. It's about society. It's about the various institutions, not just the state and the individual, but all the charities and the churches and the schools and the many other institutions that we are all a part of on a day-to-day basis. And it's a question of how to get those working better. I recognise there are pressures in the NHS, for instance. I talk to many of my consultant friends who say actually some of the pressures there are of a different order than we have seen in recent years. And so I would want to work with them to see, okay, how can we address these? What is actually needed from the state and from the other institutions in society in order to make life better for all of us and make life worth living?